The air conditioning in Shen Wenlang's business car was icy, a stark contrast to the summer heat outside. Gao Tu sat silently, shivering slightly, not just from the cold, but from the anxiety curling inside him. He couldn't understand why Shen Wenlang refused to let him go. Even after he had left his hometown and gone to Country V, was Shen Wenlang worried that he and his child would try to take his empire? That thought alone tightened the grip of unease in Gao Tu's chest. Turn down the wind a little. Shen Wenlang's calm voice broke the silence. His hand slid naturally over the middle armrest and gently rested on the back of Gao Tu's. Instantly, Gao Tu pulled away, his body stiff, his hand recoiling as though touched by fire. Shen Wenlang felt a twinge of discomfort at the reaction, but he carefully hid it. He understood Gao Tu's fear, his instinctive caution, and decided to approach slowly, cautiously, like a wolf circling a wary rabbit. In the other car, Song Feifei and Ma Heng stayed alert, keeping a watchful eye on the situation. But in the 9-seater business car, only Shen Wenlang, Gao Tu, Gao Lele, Zhao Huasheng, and the child's nanny remained. The little boy, affectionately called Peanut, had always been precocious with the curiosity of someone far older than his years. He observed everything in the car, noting the subtle tension between the fearless godfather and the Omega holding him with remarkable precision. Gao Tu cradled Gao Lele close, refusing to let the child sit in the infant seat. The boy, with the innocence only a 3-year-old could possess, rested comfortably against his father's chest. Shen Wenlang's heart clenched as he realized that the faint apricot-like scent surrounding them, soothing, unfamiliar, belonged to Ma Heng. The realization brought a sudden chill, one that no summer sun could warm. Despite the distance Gao Tu maintained, Gao Lele seemed unafraid of Shen Wenlang. The child's little legs tucked between Gao Tu's, hands clutching his father, his eyes wide and curious behind a Mickey Mouse mask. Blood ties, Shen Wenlang thought, are truly remarkable. Due to the lack of alpha pheromones during his fetal period, Gao Lele had always been cautious, even repelled by other alphas. Yet here he was, unafraid, drawn to Shen Wenlang in a way that was impossible to ignore. Gao Tu's fear was tangible. He clutched his child as though shielding him from an invisible danger. Wenlang, Dad, who are they? Can they play with me? Peanut's cheerful voice rang out, breaking the tension. Gao Tu's heart twisted painfully at the nickname, instinctively holding his son closer. He knew the innocence behind Peanut's words contrasted sharply with the tangled emotions weighing on the adults. Gao Lele, sensing his father's unease, whispered softly, "Dad?" and tried to lighten the mood. "When are we going home?" "Very soon," Gao Tu replied, his voice steady though his heart raced. He forced himself to breathe, to remain calm, to negotiate with his former employer without showing the storm inside him. But before he could speak further, Shen Wenlang interrupted. "This is Zhao Huasheng, Hua Yong's child," he said casually. Gao Tu's usually transparent demeanor shifted slightly. He wasn't a great actor, and his thoughts often betrayed him, but Shen Wenlang, who had once trusted him without question, now watched with sharp caution. Everything Gao Tu did, every glance, every movement was under scrutiny. Peanut's innocent words had cracked open a fragile wall of misunderstanding. Shen Wenlang's mind raced. Perhaps Gao Tu had misunderstood his explanations of Zhao Huasheng's life, interpreting them as proof of intimacy between him and Hua Yong. Shen Wenlang's temper flared silently, but he restrained himself, careful not to frighten the vigilant Omega further. "I've been looking for you for a long time," Shen Wenlang said softly, choosing his words carefully. Gao Tu's eyes flicked to meet his, then quickly away, as if afraid of what he might reveal. Their gaze met for a fleeting second, electric, charged, heavy with unspoken words. Gao Tu lowered his eyes, swallowing hard. "Mr. Shen, since we all have new lives, let the past be the past. My father was wrong to blackmail you. I've aborted the child. I won't ask for money." His voice dropped further, almost lost in the quiet hum of the car. He almost buried his face in Gao Li's soft hair, shame and fear etched across his features. A strangled ache surged in Shen Wenlang's chest. He wanted to tell Gao Tu that it wasn't his fault, that he needed no apology. He wanted to reach across the seat and pull him close, to erase the pain of the past. Yet he restrained himself, listening as Gao Tu continued, voice hoarse and trembling. "I'm sorry for lying. I can compensate you in any way you want. But please, don't hurt my child." Shen Wenlang had known Gao Tu's kindness for years. Unlike others who tried to curry favor, Gao Tu's care was genuine, earned through honesty, through shared struggles, and through a backbone that never bowed. Even in his poverty, even when he was teased, Gao Tu remained firm in his convictions, never servile, never fawning. That authenticity was precious to Shen Wenlang, a rare gem in a world full of opportunists. Memories of past moments surged, the small arguments, the shared laughter, the quiet nights studying together. He recalled every act of bravery, every stubborn refusal, every moment Gao Tu had been the one constant he could rely on. Gao Tu's pride, his courage, his unwavering spirit, Shen Wenlang had always admired it, perhaps even loved it in ways he hadn't admitted. And now, to hear this humble, pleading voice asking only for the safety of his child, Shen Wenlang felt his resolve crack. He wanted to turn back time, to change the moment when Gao Tu had been forced to make impossible decisions, to prevent the abortions, to protect the fragile innocence that had always been at the center of their tangled lives. Peanut, oblivious to the heavy tension among the adults, climbed onto Shen Wenlang's knees, chattering cheerfully. "I'm really sorry for bumping into you earlier, but your mask is so pretty, can I borrow it?" Gao Lele hesitated, caught between caution and kindness, but finally handed over his Mickey Mouse mask. The exchange was simple, innocent, but for Shen Wenlang, it was a revelation. Seeing Gao Lele in Gao Tu's arms, recognizing the unmistakable features he shared with his father, his heart swelled. The resemblance was undeniable, a living proof of the bond between them. No test, no doubt could question it. 3 months passed. Gao Lele had begun to notice changes, his father disappearing at odd hours, the faint scent of iris and sage lingering in the air. One night, after a feast of watermelon, the boy awoke suffocating slightly in sleep. His small legs carried him to the bathroom, where he overheard hushed conversations in the living room. The neighbor, recently moved in next door, was there. Gao Tu's voice, calm but firm, mingled with the neighbor's soft laughter. Gao Tu was cautious, protective, ensuring that Gao Lele remained asleep, safe from the confusing adult world. Yet the child's ears had already caught fragments, promises, teasing, whispers of affection, and his young heart could sense both the tension and the tenderness. When Gao Tu finally returned to tuck him in, Gao Lele's bright eyes opened wide, mirroring Shen Wenlang's features almost perfectly. "Dad," he said simply, "if you want to go next door, you can do it now. You don't have to wait until I fall asleep." It was a small declaration, yet it carried profound trust and love. Gao Lele had sensed his father's care, his efforts to protect, and he offered acceptance in return, without hesitation, without fear. It was a moment of unspoken understanding, a silent bond bridging the world of adults and the innocence of a child. And in that quiet, tender moment, Gao Tu realized that despite the misunderstandings, the dangers, the manipulations, there was still love, there was still hope. Shen Wenlang, too, felt it, the impossible, overwhelming desire to protect, to cherish, to undo the past and safeguard the future. In the laughter of children, in the gentle exchanges of trust, they had found something stronger than fear, stronger than pride. Even amid danger, even amid the complexities of life, this family, this fragile, precious unit held the potential to heal. And as the night deepened, as the faint scent of iris and sage lingered in the air, Gao Lele drifted to sleep in his father's arms, the world outside fading away, leaving only warmth, love, and the unbreakable ties of family. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next chapter of their story.